And that's it. Let's watch, I guess, everyone's reaction. Won't be needing the controller anymore. You can go to sleep now. I don't know how they're seeing this, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe, well, I don't think they're seeing what we just did. I think they're seeing what we're about to see. I don't know why it focuses so much around Luzu. I don't have any problem with it, I'm just curious as to why. And look, we got Chocobo Knights. No Classico, he's on a ship somewhere. But that's fine. And the old man himself, Maken. And some random temple guy. That's fine. Now, because during the actual credits, there's not really enough time to talk about all the things I'd like to talk about. I'll talk about some of the things for the review now. Starting with the battle system. The battle system, I'll just include, item customization and, how the battles work, switching in and out, that whole kind of deal. I love the battle system for this game. It's got one of the best battle systems they've ever put forward in a Final Fantasy game, and it gives you so much creativity to come up with unique strategies and send people down different paths on the sphere grid, which I won't really talk about a lot until gameplay, but the battle system is really, really good. I love that we can finally switch characters in and out inside a battle, so you can't just go, oh, I forgot to switch characters, and then you're screwed for this boss fight. No more having to deal with that. It's really, really cool that way. Would have been a nice addition to something like Final Fantasy IX, but you don't really need it in 9, but it would have been interesting. But yeah, having all the different options with mix is really cool. The overdrives, each character learns them in a different way. They're useful at different points in the plot. Certain characters are more powerful at different points in the game, which gives a really good balance to how useful each of the characters are. Like Lulu was good at the beginning of the game, useless through most of the not useless, just not as useful through the middle of the game, and then again at the end of the game she becomes useful again because we can deal a lot of damage with her spells now. Same with Yuna. Yuna's usefulness, depending on how you want to play, can be all over the map. She can either be really useful if you're going to use a lot of her Aeons or her magic stat, or she'll be not so useful if you're not using those. And yes, this brings up another point. Why didn't this happen when we just sent Seymour 2 episodes ago? 3 episodes, whatever it was. Auron's theme. I love Auron's theme. Ignore the girls. Got a fist bump with the guys before I go.
It's been long enough.
Remember, he hadn't told anyone but Tidus, so Tidus knew, but nobody else did.
This is your world now.
Now, as far as gameplay goes, the sphere grid and, how movement mechanics work and the camera angles and all that kind of stuff. The camera angles suck. I don't know why they change so randomly at times, but for the most part, it's not too bad. You know, for the most part, it's easy enough to get by. It's just the little bits here and there that they really needed to fix. The sphere grid, I could do without it, to be honest. It does allow for some creativity from the middle of the game onward, but in the first half, you really don't get to choose anything. The first half of the game, you don't get to do anything. There's Sin. See, this is what they were looking at before. They were seeing Sin fall, I guess. I'm not sure if they saw the explosion, but that's just my guess, because the game doesn't really explain all that much. But yeah, the sphere grid has its ups and downs. I find it so tedious by the time you get, you know, past where I am now, past the first path. It just gets tedious and it takes up too much time, because now I've got 70-some, you know, levels with everybody, and I'm gonna have to go through and try and, you know, put points in, but I'm gonna run out of spheres halfway along, and then I'm gonna have to go grind for spheres, and then I gotta go grind for more levels, and then I'm gonna grind for more spheres, when it should just all be done for me. And yeah, it's kind of tedious that way. If you could just move along the grid, kind of like they let you do in 13, but gave you the freedom that they do in 10, I think that would probably be a better system. I didn't like the license board in 12. We'll just not even talk about that for now, but... What do we have here? Oh god, it's a changeling! Run for your life! The founders are here! Sorry, I'm watching Deep Space Nine again. That's it. That's the end. No.
Yuna, I have to go. I'm sorry I couldn't show you Xanarkand. Goodbye.
Hey! We're gonna see you again!
Yuna!
Ouch. In the Japanese, she says thank you. They changed the translation. But I love that scene. It's powerful. It's sad. And it's oh so adorable. And the music rocks. Well, I guess he's not really fading to black now, is he? No much Metallica today. That's not how gravity works. You don't just get to soar like that. Aw, they made up. Still calling for him.
It's time.
Blitzball Amphitheater. Where else can you gather so many people? High Summoner Yuna has brought the calm forever.
Everyone has lost something precious. Everyone here has lost homes, dreams, and friends. Everybody? Now, Sin is finally dead. Now, Spira is ours again. Working together. Now we can make new homes for ourselves. And new dreams. Although I know the journey will be hard, we have lots of time. Together, we will rebuild Spira. The road is ahead of us, so let's start out today.
They do a much better job lip syncing during the cutscenes, you know, the full motion videos than they do the regular videos.
Just one more thing. The people and the friends that we have lost. No dreams have faded. Never forget them.
And we get somewhat of an orchestrated different take on Steki Dene. At least I believe that's still, yeah, it is still the ending theme. I like the one that we get in the woods better, that variation of the theme, but it's a great theme regardless. Graphics, we just looked at them. They're gorgeous. This is the first Final Fantasy game on PS2, of course. Everything looked gorgeous, comparatively speaking, to what anything we had seen before. You know, the facial reactions were much, you know, more accurate than they'd ever been. They were more realistic. The lip syncing was kind of crap throughout most of it, to be honest, except for in the CG videos. The remaster does a few things well, and some things are somewhat awkward, but all in all, graphics are great. I like them. I'm not really a graphics guy. I don't really care. I can play 8-bit, you know, Nintendo games for all I care. But, you know, it works for me. Okay. The story. I didn't even think about what I was going to say about the frickin' story. The story is good and it's bad. The story has holes, a lot of holes. But at the same time, they do such a good job. You know, I'm going to add the characters in here. They did such a good job with the characters and the comedy and, you know, painting the story that we were supposed to experience from Tidus's perspective to give us that, you know, kind of that tunnel so that we could view it in the way they intended it to be viewed as. They weren't trying to have us think about, you know, where all these holes would come in from an outsider perspective. They were really kind of focused in on what that story was from his point of view. And some of the holes you can forgive if you're looking at it from Tidus's point of view. So for that, I give them a lot of credit. I found this game really, really funny for me. It's the type of humor that does really well with me. It probably won't for everyone, that's fine. You know, the story is good and bad. It has its upsides, it has its downsides. Characters, other than, you know, Wakka being a dick for, you know, the first half of the game, pretty much all the characters are relatively likable. They're not all, you know, annoying like they are in some games. You know, there are some games where you just don't even care about the characters, and therefore you don't care about the game or the story, because how can you care about the story of what's happening to these characters if you don't like them. Here, most of them are relatively likable, so that works. The music, Uematsu had help this time. He brought a couple of people in, and I believe they're the two that worked on Final Fantasy X-2. The thing is, X-2's music is drastically inferior, in my opinion, to what we got here. But those same two composers that worked on both did some really good work in this game. I believe the Thunder Plateau was done by one of them, the Thunder Plains, and a number of other ones. Some of the other boss themes that weren't the main boss or the main battle theme were done by some of the other composers. Some of them were all right. The battle theme itself, the main one, my favorite battle theme in all of Final Fantasy games. Might be my favorite battle theme, regular battle theme of all time. That doesn't include boss themes, because there's a lot of other boss themes, the Dragon God, Chrono Cross, Xenosaga Episode 1's final boss. That was incredible. I won't mention the name. What else? I don't know. There's plenty of them, but I really love the battle theme. It's not the first time we've gotten the good vocal song, but they keep the trend going from 8 to 9 to 10. All had really good battle, these vocal J-pop tracks that are just really well done. And of course they'll screw it up in 10-2, but can't blame it on this game. The voice acting. Oh, the voice acting. The voice acting has problems. But the thing is, problems aside, a lot of that's the direction. These actors were directed to do them in this way, and the compression does not help. So as far as the overall what we got out of it, it's really not good. It's kind of middle of the road, and that's about it. But I wouldn't put all of that blame on the actors themselves. I would cut them some slack. Seymour's voice actor, fantastic, did very well throughout. Really creepy, really slimy. Every time he's on screen, he's just hamming it up and doing exactly what he should do as an evil, creepy villain. Very well done. The Tidus character, I don't know. I don't really mind Tidus as a character because I can look at it from the writing perspective, how he was used, and the directing perspective of how he would be that lens that I've talked about to death. But I can't bring myself to hate him, even if his voice actor doesn't really put the performance in that I would like. I can give cut a lot of slack for voice actors as long as they're playing the character that we see on screen and the voice matches the character. And in this game, pretty much all of them do. Kamari's kind of a little weird at times, but it's Bender. I'll give Bender all the slack in the world just because Bender is such an awesome character. But he got to ham it up with Wakka, so I'll give him a lot of credit. I really enjoyed Wakka's character in the first third of the game before he started acting like a dick. And that leads us to the extras and the replay. The thing is, there's a lot of it. But that doesn't mean it's all good. I'm not even going to get into this scene. People want to interpret this as, Tidus is going here, he's going there, he's still alive, he's not still alive. There's a lot that we can do with the story if you want to get into that. But to really have an impact, we really need to get into Final Fantasy X-2. Now, I've been specifically mum's the word and not talked about whether or not I will do it, and that's going to continue. I'm not going to mention it here whether that will or will not be a future LP. But as far as the extras in this game, it just switches straight. In the PS3 version, it just sits on that image for a while. Interesting. But yeah, as far as the extras, the replay, the side quests, all that stuff, it has some of the worst side quests in any game I've ever played. Chocobo Catcher is the worst side quest I've ever experienced in my life. I hate it with a passion. It causes so much rage in me that you really didn't get to see because I just cut a lot of it out. You could probably tell when we got to doing that, when I cut away from the post commentary, and you could just kind of hear the aggravation in my voice. I was just kind of done with it. And it didn't even, it took me 15, 20 minutes to do. It's one of the luckiest, quickest I've ever been able to do that side quest. But it was still annoying as all hell. I got more lucky doing side quests in this LP than I have ever gotten in this game in the other 4, 5, or 6 times I've played it. I've never done the treasure chest one. I got it. Only took me 20, 30 minutes. I was able to do the lightning dodging on my first frickin' try. But so many of these, it's just, reload and retry and retry and retry and retry and reload. It's not fun. It's just tedious. And, the fact that they have a lot of bonus content, like the Monster Arena, we're going to get into doing some of that stuff, Blitzball, stuff like that, they're good first attempts, but they all need more. They need to be fixed up. And, if this was, a game that had come out, 2 years ago, not like the HD version of it, the original version, we probably would have got patches that would have fixed some of these issues. But the way it is, I find they're almost a detraction to the game, because by the time I finish the plot, I don't really want to do them at all. I'm done. I don't want to go and do, 10 hours of monster capturing, and then 10 hours of stat grinding, and then 10 hours of Blitzball. Which is one of the reasons why I split it up the way I did, and we kind of did a lot of the side quests as we got to them in the plot, meaning that most of what's left now is money farming, the Omega Ruins, and stat maxing and monster capturing. It's still a lot, but I've done little bits of it as we've gone to make it a little more doable at this point. I have worked a little bit ahead as far as episodes go, so I've got a couple week cushion after this. So hopefully there will be there shouldn't be any missed episodes, but I wanted to make sure I had a little bit in the can so that when we got to this point and I had to spend half my week trying to catch up so that we could record another episode, that I wouldn't be falling behind. So fingers crossed that we're not going to do that. But anyway, all in all, I love Final Fantasy X. I would say it's my third favorite Final Fantasy, if not my fourth. I go back and forth with it in Final Fantasy IV. They kind of fight for that third spot. It just depends on usually which game I've played most recently. But anyway, that's pretty much all for the finale. There's a lot more content to this game, as I've obviously mentioned. And next time, we will be getting into what is left. And that will be a lot of side quests. But anyway, I hope you've enjoyed the finale, and I hope you've enjoyed Final Fantasy X thus far. Stay tuned next time where we start doing side quests, and I do most of the tedious stuff off screen. It's all for this one, and I'll see you guys next time.